Real Madrid spent a century teaching footballers one lesson. When Madrid calls, you say yes. Zidane said yes. Beckham said yes. Cristiano Ronaldo, the most valuable athlete of his generation, said yes. And he handed over half his image rights to do it. That was the price of the white shirt. Nobody questioned it. Then one player arrived, and he didn't negotiate the transfer. He negotiated the rules. Because when Kylian Mbappé finally signed for Real Madrid in 2024, he didn't accept their terms. Madrid accepted his, a reported €150 million signing bonus, and something no Real Madrid superstar had ever kept, 80% of his own image rights. So the question this video answers is simple. How does a 25-year-old footballer gain leverage over the most powerful club on earth? The answer took 15 years to build, and it started long before he was famous. To understand what happened, start with a simple question. What was Madrid really buying? Not a striker. Strikers are everywhere. They were buying an asset, a brand with its own revenue streams, its own global audience, its own intellectual property. When a company acquires something like that, it isn't just paying for output, it's paying for ownership. And whoever controls the ownership controls the deal. Now this is what almost nobody is aware of. Mbappé's family understood this before the market did. Rewind to 2011. In a small bedroom in Bondy, a suburb in the 93 Seine-Saint-Denis, one of the poorest departments in France, a 13-year-old boy is falling asleep beneath walls covered in posters. Cristiano Ronaldo, Real Madrid, the white shirt, everywhere he looks. The 93 is one of the strangest places in football. On paper, it's one of the poorest regions in France. But in football terms, it's one of the richest. Greater Paris produces more World Cup players than any other region on earth. Not Brazil, not Barcelona's academy. Greater Paris. If football is a market, this is where the assets are made. And that same year, a modest French club called Caen came looking for one. They scouted him, they wanted him, they tried to sign him. Then Caen got relegated, the money disappeared, and the deal collapsed. At the time it looked like a footnote. Hold on to that footnote, because it becomes the punchline of this entire story. While other families in the 93 were hoping for any professional contract, the Mbappés were doing something different. They weren't raising a footballer, they were building an enterprise. Every valuable asset needs a management structure. Most footballers rent one. A super agent takes a percentage, juggles dozens of clients, and manages the business. The Mbappés did something different. They built their own. His father was a football coach. If this were a company, he'd be running product development. His mother, Faiza Lamari, was a professional handball player. She understood exactly what elite sport could give you, and exactly what it could take away. So when Kylian turned professional, they didn't hire an agent. They incorporated a family-owned company, one that controls his website, his merchandise, his publishing, and the crown jewel of the entire operation, his image rights. Read that structure like a business analyst and something becomes obvious. This isn't a sports management team, it's a family office. The talent sits there, the management sits there, the ownership sits there, all at the same table. No agent taking 10%, no agency pushing sponsorship deals that benefit the agency. No outside incentives, every decision optimized for one client, over a 30-year horizon, and every decision traces back to a single principle. A principle the family locked in early. Never give away control of the asset. That principle would shape every major decision that followed, and eventually, it would put them on a collision course with Real Madrid. The first test came at 14 years old. Zinedine Zidane personally invited him to Real Madrid, the club from the posters, the club from the bedroom walls, the dream. And Madrid wasn't alone. Liverpool and Bayern called, Manchester City circled, Chelsea got him into a friendly for a kid from Bondy. Any one of those calls is the lottery, and the Mbappés said no to all of them and chose Monaco. On a football podcast, that's a nice little career story. On this channel, it's something else. It's the first major business decision of his career. The super clubs were offering prestige, a famous badge, a famous academy, a famous future. What they couldn't offer was opportunity. Monaco could, the shortest route to first-team football. And that's what the family chose. Everyone else was chasing the biggest brand. The Mbappés were chasing the fastest compounding. The decision paid off almost immediately. First-team debut at 16, French champion at 18, a Champions League run. Then a transfer to PSG with the second highest transfer fee in football history. The lesson wasn't about football, it was about playing the long game. Prestige is what other people give you. The real advantage is what you build. And at 18 years old, The Mbappés had already shown they understood the difference. The next decade wasn't about building an advantage. It was about protecting it. Now here's where most superstar athletes destroy their own advantage. Sponsorships. The standard playbook is simple. Say yes to the soft drink, say yes to the crypto exchange, say yes to the betting app, stack the logos, collect the checks. By the time Mbappé arrived in Paris, some of football's biggest stars had become walking billboards. Neymar alone reportedly carried more than 30 endorsement partnerships, more deals, more campaigns, more money. The Mbappé family ran the opposite playbook, the luxury playbook. Hermes could sell far more Birkin bags than it does. Ferrari could build far more cars than it does. They choose not to, because scarcity is the product, the waiting list is the marketing, a brand available to everyone is premium to no one. Apply that logic to a human being, and you get Mbappé's portfolio. Nike, Hublot, EA, Oakley, and then Dior. Not a sports drink, not a fast food chain, one of the crown jewels of French luxury, putting a kid from the '93 beside movie stars and global celebrities. After the 2018 World Cup, brands flooded in by the hundreds. Most of them heard the same answer: no betting, no alcohol, no fast food. Because in luxury, a brand is defined by what it refuses. One partnership that ages badly costs more than 10 that pay well. 15 years of this family control, scarcity, refusal built something almost no athlete has ever had: the power to say no to Real Madrid. Everything Kylian Mbappé has ever wanted is finally on the table. Real Madrid, the club from the posters, the club from the childhood bedroom, the club whose legend personally recruited him at 14, has placed the largest contract offer in its history in front of him. The Bernabeu is waiting. Spanish media are preparing the announcement. The football world thinks the story is over. There's just one problem, one clause. Madrid has a house rule, and for decades it has never been negotiable. Every player gives up 50% of his image rights. The logic is simple. We are the biggest stage on earth, and we take half of what that stage helps you earn. Beckham accepted it. Ronaldo accepted it. Every superstar accepted it. Signing meant giving Madrid half of Nike, half of Dior, half of everything his family had spent 15 years protecting. The president of France personally called and asked him to stay in Paris, but that's not really why he stayed. Put yourself in that room, the dream of your childhood, the biggest club in football, waiting for one word. He said no, and understand what that no actually risked. His plan was to run the PSG contract down to zero, then wait, and arrive as a free agent. But waiting meant exposure, 2 full years of exposure, 1 torn ACL, 1 serious injury, 1 bad season, and the entire strategy collapses. No Madrid deal, no record bonus, no leverage, nothing. He wasn't negotiating anymore. He was betting on himself. Then it got even stranger. In 2023, a Saudi club offered a package reportedly worth 300 million euros. Salary figures no athlete had ever seen before. PSG accepted the bid. They wanted him gone. Mbappé wouldn't even take the meeting. Think about that. He turned down the largest payday in the history of sport to keep waiting for a deal that didn't even exist yet. The gamble worked. In 2024, he walked into the Bernabeu for free, and because Madrid paid no transfer fee, the money that would have gone to PSG went to him. The 150 million euro signing bonus we discussed about. But the bonus isn't the headline. The headline is 80%. That's the share of his image rights Mbappé kept. Real Madrid, the club that took half from Cristiano Ronaldo, broke its own rule for the first time in the modern era. The kid from the poster-covered bedroom didn't just join the club on the wall, he rewrote its rulebook. And PSG, they still owed him millions in wages and bonuses. Like most clubs would assume, they expected him to walk away, move on, let it go. He didn't. His lawyers went to court, and 55 million euros inside PSG's own bank accounts were frozen before any verdict had even been reached. Bailiffs, account seizures against the richest club in France. Then, in December 2025, the tribunal made it official. PSG was ordered to pay him roughly 61 million euros, and Mbappé did what every well-run business does when an invoice is overdue. He collected. Remember the footnote, the 13-year-old that Caen couldn't afford in 2011? Then 13 years passed, and the story came back around. In the summer of 2024, Kylian Mbappé bought Caen 80% of the club for around 15 million euros. And he wasn't buying it from a local businessman. He was buying it from Oaktree, a Wall Street investment fund. Think about how unusual that is. A 25-year-old footballer from Bondi buying a football club from American private equity. The kid the club couldn't buy came back and bought the club. It sounds like the perfect ending, but reality had other plans because in his very first season as owner, Caen collapsed. The club was relegated to the third division. Fans protested. Headlines called it a disaster. This wasn't a vanity purchase. It wasn't a celebrity trophy. The acquisition sat inside Interconnected Ventures, his holding company, through its investment arm, Coalition Capital. And holding companies don't panic because of one bad quarter or one bad season. At 25 years old, Mbappé crossed the most important line in sports business, the line between asset and owner. Players earn salaries, owners absorb losses, and keep the equity. The holding company didn't stop at football, because ownership was never the final destination, it was the beginning. One branch of the business is called Zebra Valley, a production company focused on documentaries, entertainment, gaming, and sports content, including partnerships with the NBA. The strategy should sound familiar. LeBron James built Spring Hill, Mbappé is building his own version, because owning the story is more valuable than appearing in it. Then came another move. In 2025, Coalition Capital acquired a stake in the French SailGP sailing team, alongside Accor, one of the largest hospitality companies in the world. Different sport, same idea, diversification, the same strategy investors have used for decades. Spread risk, acquire assets, build ownership. And through all of it, Mbappé has remained unusually clear about what he's trying to avoid. His goal was never to become the guy who shoots the ball, finishes his career, goes to the yacht, and takes his money. He wants something bigger than a football career. The portfolio suggests he means it. So come back to the pitch one last time. Right now, this very summer, Kylian Mbappé is chasing another record, another trophy, another headline, another moment that will be replayed for years. But that's not why this story matters, because the football story is only half the story. The real story is ownership. Most footballers negotiate contracts. Mbappé negotiates systems. Most footballers spend their careers trying to join Real Madrid. Mbappé changed the terms of joining Real Madrid, for himself, and for every superstar who comes after him. And right now, as he chases Lionel Messi's World Cup scoring record, there's one detail most people never think about. When records fall, value gets created. Campaigns, images, merchandise, licensing, commemorative moments. And unlike most athletes, the majority of that value belongs to him, not a club, not a federation. Him, that's what 80% means. The kid from Bondi didn't just become one of the best footballers on earth, he became one of the most powerful assets in sports. And that may be the most valuable goal he ever scores, because goals disappear from scoreboards. But control compounds.